Today on Carolina News, cut the net. Madness is an understatement for students celebrating at USC after a historic win. On the road again. How far would you go to watch your team? See how some students made it all the way to Phoenix. And 5 Points Vigil. A vigil was held for the USC student who was assaulted at a 5 Points bar. See why people are now calling for a boycott of certain bars. Carolina News tips off now.
Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on Carolina News.
What a weekend for the Gamecocks. Celebrations erupted all over the capital city as the women's basketball team secured their win as national champions. And that's our top story. Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Jada Williams.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Michelle Zhu.
Before we take you to the celebration, we have breaking news as severe thunderstorms are rolling through the area. These storms are packing strong winds and possible tornadoes.
That's right. There is a severe weather headed our way. There is a tornado watch in effect for majority of the Midlands until 9 p.m. tonight. That's everything you see in red right here. That's that tornado watch. What could be heading our way in about an hour or so is this line of storms right here. What you see in yellow, that is the severe thunderstorms. So we'll be tracking this throughout the night. It should move out towards the end of, or towards early morning and should clear up, but we could see the rain throughout the rest of the night. I'll continue to track these storms and let you know what to expect coming up. Back to you guys.
In spite of the storm, Gamecock fans are rejoicing the women's basketball team win against Mississippi State. We have team coverage of the celebration across the nation. But first, here in the Midlands, people were out supporting their Gamecocks the best way they know how. Carolina News reporter Eric Cirillo got the fans' reactions after the win.
Gamecock Nation flooded the streets of 5 Points and the Thomas Cooper Fountain to show their support for the new national champions.
I'm excited!
I'm super proud of y'all. Let's go. Cops on top. Let's go.
We're so happy the women won. We deserved it. They worked so hard. We have an incredible team.
They danced and cheered all night.
We are so excited for the Carolina women. They did us proud. They led us all the way.
I'm going to be in school for the first championship. I mean, I know the alumni are pumped, but like we're here and it happened, so pretty big deal.
It feels amazing. I can't believe we just won. First time.
Once in a lifetime opportunity. We just had to go in and celebrate with everyone.
And their message for Coach Staley:
Thank you for believing in us, and we love you. You are a queen. We love her so much.
Eric Cirillo, Carolina News.
The pep rally for the women's team was originally scheduled for 4 o'clock this afternoon in Colonial Life Arena, but due to weather conditions, the event has been pushed back to 8 o'clock.
Fans traveled to Phoenix to support the men, but continued to cheer for the women as they brought home the trophy. Our Nick Jones was there to get reaction from Gamecock Nation.
It's game time in Dallas, and that means a party in Phoenix.
I mean, I want to get out of here with a win big time, so I want the women to show up.
And there's no doubt that Gamecock Nation did just that here in the Valley of the Sun. This time, not for the men, but for the women's national championship game.
I think this just shows when you come across country for games, either Dallas or, obviously Phoenix, the fans support you no matter what. This is amazing.
Former USC soccer player Matt Stevenson says he supports the basketball teams because of his appreciation for the way the coaches teach their players.
Not only, doing great things on the basketball court, but also getting these kids ready for life after basketball, which is the most important thing.
The most important game of the college women's basketball season has everyone stressed out until the final buzzer. The South Carolina women's basketball team are national champions for the first time in program history. While Gamecock Nation celebrates, no one can be more excited than South Carolina's most loyal fan.
Well, this is a family. This is the Gamecock family. It is huge. It's millions of people.
A title that's been a long time coming.
It all came together. It took a long time, but the fans have helped. It's just wonderful.
And although the men's team fell short in the Final Four in Arizona, Gamecocks can leave Phoenix as champions. In Arizona, Nick Jones, Carolina News.
Despite the men's loss, spirits were high in Phoenix thanks to the women's team and a new trophy coming back to Columbia.
Gamecock Nation went to all lengths to see their teams in their March Madness runs. One group of students knew they wanted to get there no matter what it took.
Our Brian Principe met up with some students who rented an RV to support the boys in Phoenix.
How far would you go for the Gamecocks?
It was tough because the first 23 hours the generator was broken, so we couldn't even play Xbox. It was a lot of Monopoly, but once we hit Texas, we realized kind of what we were getting into. We're driving all the way across the country pretty much just to watch the Cox play.
23 hours out of a 30-hour RV trip to Phoenix for 9 South Carolina students determined to make it to the Final Four. And what's a 30-hour trip in an RV like?
Very uncomfortable, but if your destination is worth it, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. That's all that matters.
But you be the judge. RV organizer and USC senior Cam Vogel took us around for a tour.
You got the master bedroom back here. We had to make sure we brought a TV big enough. The shower, of course, nobody used. Not a single person used.
And after 30 hours, you learn the tricks of the trade.
Take that out, and then you can put this below the curtains, and it turns into another bed.
But for Vogel, there was no question he'd be here.
I've been going to games since freshman year, and we're in the Final Four. I had to come. There wasn't an option.
For the Riders, things got a little bleak, a little over halfway through the trip.
When we got to Texas, I was about done. I was like, I'm ready to be in Arizona. I don't want to be in this RV anymore.
We were already 18, 20 hours in. We're like, we still have another 12 hours to go.
But again, it was all worth it.
Absolutely. Tears are going to be shed whether we win or lose. So being here is absolutely amazing, and I wanted to go to New York, but we saved our money in case we made it to Phoenix, and I'm glad that we saved our money because we did make it, and now we're here.
30 hours in an RV for 40 minutes of basketball in the Final Four as a reward. From Glendale, Brian Principe.
Go Cox, let's go!
Carolina News.
Wow, across country for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, that seems like a fun college story to share.
Dedication right there.
It is.
Well, here in Columbia, there's a USC flag high over the State House.
Normally, only the state flag and the American flag fly over the State House, but it's tradition to hoist the South Carolina team's flag after a major win. Shortly after the women won the national title, Governor Henry McMaster announced he would raise the Gamecock flag to show support for the women's basketball team. Lady Gamecock Elena Coates took to Twitter in response to ESPN comments about her missing the Final Four game. When commentators questioned her absence at the tournaments, Coates clarified that her reason for not traveling was due to an ankle injury. She tweeted, "This unprofessionalism is ridiculous." Coach Dawn Staley still showed her support for Coates from the court.
The spirit of Elena Coates is very much a part of our team. We don't get to this point without her, and I just want to let her know that we're going to bring her ring home.
For now, Coates is resting and waiting for the Women's National Basketball Association draft.
The men faced a heartbreaking loss Friday night, and the post-game press conference was full of emotion. Nick Jones and Brian Principe were in Phoenix to capture all the action.
The Cinderella story comes to an end as South Carolina falls to Gonzaga by a final score of 77-73 in the national semifinals. Brian, emotional run for the Gamecocks.
Emotional run. The road, like you said, does end too early for the Gamecocks in their route to a national championship. Coach Frank Martin fighting back tears at his post-game press conference, talking about the impact that his players had off the court that outweighed the final score for Saturday night's game.
There's something powerful when you impact others. And what these kids have done, it's pretty special. When you get people to travel across the country by the masses because they believe in what you do, it's powerful stuff. And they've impacted our community in an unbelievable way, which is worth so much more than the score of a game. It's what it's all about. These kids are great role models. There's a lot of young kids that want to be the next Darius Thornwell, Justin Mackey. I don't get to coach them anymore, but they're part of my life forever.
Powerful words from Coach Martin. Really an incredible journey South Carolina had this March.
It was an incredible journey. Unfortunately, it ends tonight, but our coverage from University of Phoenix Stadium does not. We're here on Monday for the national championship game. Full reaction and interviews after the game from that. Until then, for Nick Jones, I'm Brian Principe from Glendale, Arizona, Carolina News.
Although the loss was tough, fans rallied together to cheer on their Gamecocks for the rest of the weekend.
Many Gamecock fans made the trip to Phoenix for the Final Four, but those who couldn't go packed the bars and restaurants here in Columbia. Carolina News' Nathan Elliott watched the game with some fans in downtown 5 Points, where the energy was in the air.
With excitement in the air, fans packed downtown 5 Points to watch the men's basketball team in the Final Four. People lined the bars to cheer on the Gamecocks as the game tipped off.
Let's go, Gamecocks! Woo!
The atmosphere felt like Williams-Brice to kick things off, only this time with a different sport.
One night I went to sleep, the next day I woke up and we were at basketball school.
Thunder shook the Village Idiot as lineups were announced for the team's biggest game yet.
Just go Gamecocks in general, because in general the Gamecocks win in my heart.
And as the drinks continued to go down, so did the crowd during the first half.
You know, I hope they take the win, yo. I know we're down right now, but I hope we take it, you know. I hope we get it, yo.
While fans nervously watched the start of the second half, things started to look up for the team, and so did the fans. The comeback brought the bar back to life, but as the game drew to a close,
I'm so upset right now. This is the lowest I've ever been in my life.
So did the bar. Even though the men lost, fans have gone on to party another day. Nathan Elliott, Carolina News.
I don't think I've ever seen so much hype for any other sporting event.
Yeah, I was there for the game, and the energy was amazing. It was fun.
Definitely.
Well, later in the show, we'll have a recap of the women's game.
Coming up next on Carolina News. Why Black Lives Matter of Columbia is asking all Columbia area students to boycott 5 Points bars.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. Fried ants are delicious. We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really?
That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. Yeah. In la keg, a la king. Think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience.
The assault on an African-American USC student in 5 points over St. Patrick's weekend has sparked outrage from many in the community. The Columbia chapter of Black Lives Matter held a vigil over the weekend. I was at that vigil to hear how they plan to uplift their community and make some changes in the area. The 5 Points Fountain became a place of solidarity and a soapbox Saturday afternoon. Many gathered with the Simple Justice Black Lives Matter Chapter 2.
Wanted to get together in solidarity and connect at the heart level and primarily lift up Ryan.
In the video, you see Ryan Chisholm is placed in a sleeper hold, then thrown to the pavement. Daniel Wells, owner of the bar Poorhouse, has been charged with assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature. Chisholm suffered a broken jaw and lost a few of his teeth from the attack. Protesters brought out posters.
Duty to fight for our freedom!
It is our duty to win!
It is our duty to win!
And even signed get well cards to send Chisholm while he's recovering. But they also came out to encourage a boycott of 5 Points until they see a change in what they call discriminatory policies against African Americans. They say some bars require a Carolina card to gain entry, and they say some bars have discriminatory dress code policies.
At this location, another location, you can't come here if you don't have a Carolina card. If you wear Timbs or if you wear jeans or a white t-shirt, you're not allowed. And I feel like they try to make us feel like a minority, but we're not.
Lamisha Gartner is a student at Allen University. She says because of those policies, her options to have fun are limited.
It's not a really good feeling because when you come down here, you come to have a good time, you come to bond with people.
After meeting at the fountain, the crowd marched across the street to Poorhouse to leave messages on the sidewalk for Ryan and the owner of the bar.
If no one else is going to stand up, let me stand up. Let me stand up for what's right.
Protesters hope 5 Points will feel the economic pinch of their boycott, and they hope to make sure a case like Chisholm's never happens again. I reached out to the 5 Points Association for their comment on the boycott, but they didn't return my call.
The Midlands got a taste of international flavors this weekend. The Columbia International Festival hit the capital city with a theme of Southeast Asia. The festival featured cultural items and foods from countries across the globe. More than 100 countries were represented in the fair, sharing their cultures with everyone in attendance. Event coordinators say the fair brought out massive crowds who enjoyed the atmosphere of the world.
I think it's a great event for people to come and get exposed to the world cultures. Many languages, probably more than 100 languages spoken in this place right now today.
Alori says he estimates the fair brought in around 20,000 people this weekend. It's been a dreary day today, and some areas have some light rain.
Let's send it over to our weather specialist, Parker King, who's in the Weather Center with the latest. What's it looking like on the radar, Parker?
As you can see, there are some storms headed our way. I'll continue to track this severe weather and let you know what to expect next.
See the new gorillas and feed the giraffes at Riverbank Zoo, Columbia.
I like to volunteer for the Neighborhood Emergency Response Team to help the firefighters. As you know, I was Fireman of the Year 3 times.
You're Mariano Rivera.
Thank you.
Fireman of the Year is a baseball award.
Yes.
You're not actually a fireman.
No.
Fireman of the Year, huh?
Just a few more minutes.
When you help your neighbors, you help your nation. Make a difference. Volunteer. Learn how at usafreedomcorps.gov.
Intense storms hit the southeast this weekend, including deadly tornadoes in Louisiana. They rolled through Louisiana, tearing down hundreds of homes and killing a woman and her 3-year-old daughter. The storms also struck Mississippi and Texas and are expected to continue throughout today. Thunderstorms and high winds are expected to head towards South Carolina.
Well, I am anxious to see how that weather will end up for us.
That's right. Actually, it is closer than we're expecting, so we can go ahead and take a look at what's currently going on in Columbia. It's starting to rain. Temperature is a little bit cooler than we were expecting for today at 73, and then humidity is higher. It's at 63%. That is because of the weather we're having. Winds are south-southeast at 15 miles per hour. Looking at the rest of the state, we'll see it's in the mid-70s for the most part. 75 in Myrtle Beach, 66 in Greenville. So what's going on throughout the state right now? Well, there is that tornado warning, or tornado watch, in effect until 9 p.m. tonight through most of the Midlands. That's in red right here. That's everything all in red. And then you'll see over here, there is this line of storms. What's in yellow is a severe thunderstorms. Those will be coming our way in about next hour or two. And all of this is what was moving through the southeast and is heading our way. So why is this happening? Well, there is this high right here off the coast that has pushed all of this warm air from the south up into this low right here, and that's very unstable, creating the severe weather that we have that will be moving our way. But like I said, the tornado watch is in effect until 9 p.m. Towards the night, towards the end of the night, the rain should continue throughout the day, or throughout the night, but into tomorrow, everything will have cleared up. It will have moved up north, taking all the rain and severe weather with us, and we'll have a nice clear day tomorrow, maybe some clouds here and there. But we'll have to watch. There is this low forming in the Midwest. That'll start moving its way towards us and give us some chance for rain on Wednesday and Thursday. So looking at the rest of the state before we get to Wednesday, we'll see tonight's lows. Everything's about the low 60s into the upper 60s, 67 in Charleston, 58 in Greenville. And then heading in tomorrow, once that weather clears out, we'll see that it'll warm right back up. It'll be 85 in Columbia. On the coast, it'll be 85 in Charleston, 82 in Myrtle Beach. So we'll go ahead and take a look at our 5-day forecast. Like I said, everything is going to clear up on Tuesday. Wednesday, that's that low going to be moving our way, 60% chance of storms. And then on Thursday, there also is a chance for some rain. And then the temperatures are going to start cooling down towards the weekend. We'll see it'll be 66 on Friday and 70 on Sunday. So main thing for tonight is we just have to watch all the severe weather heading our way.
Well, thank you, Parker. That is good to know.
National champs. That feels good to say. We may have lost in one Final Four, but our women took the top spot last night. Stick around to catch all of this weekend's highlights.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Well, a lot happened over the weekend for Gamecock basketball, including a new national champion.
That's right. We got a new national champion, which is great, but we do have to applaud our men's team for their incredible run they had. The Cinderella run ended Saturday night. For the USC men's basketball team, trailing by 9 at halftime, South Carolina found themselves in a pretty familiar situation. Let's pick things up in the second half with the Zags up 14. Cue South Carolina's run. And one by that bad man on the low post, Chris Silver. Then a jumper from Dozier-Adds 2. How about 3 more from Sindarius' hot hand? All of this is part of a 16-0 run by the Gamecocks to take a late lead. But Gonzaga would answer. Zach Collins fires from deep to put the Zags back up 1. Karnowski had the green light lit with this rim rocker, then reeled in the lob pass. for 2 more to put the Zags up 5. In the end, 1-seeded Gonzaga advances to their first ever national championship, defeating the boys from Columbia 77-73. PJ Dozier on Frank Martin after the game.
He teaches so many life lessons that you can also reflect back on basketball and use it towards basketball and everyday life. So that's just the big thing. That's the great thing about this guy.
The University of North Carolina Tar Heels will face off against the Gonzaga Bulldogs in the men's national championship tonight in the University of Phoenix Stadium at 9:20 p.m. on CBS. The championship game features 2 of the top-seeded teams. On to the women who played Mississippi State last night for all the marbles, and they did not disappoint. This championship game was highlighted by Asia Wilson's stat-stuffing performance. 4 blocks, 10 rebounds, and 23 points. Ty Harris to the low block to Wilson, and she finishes the rest. That's an easy 2. Then cleaning up the boards over McCowan and going right back at the basket for 2. Alicia Gray added on 18 points of her own, and Dawn Staley and USC win their first national championship by a score of 67-55. Stick that hardware on the plane, buckle it up, and enjoy the ride. That trophy is on the way back to the City of Dreams. The women will host a national championship celebration in Colonial Life Arena tonight at 8 p.m., barring a weather problem. Head coach Dawn Staley and SEC Player of the Year Asia Wilson after the game on winning a long-awaited championship.
I really can't even put into words the feeling of how much it meant to just kind of win this game for Coach. She's put in so much time and so much sweat and just her voice into us, and just prepping for times like this.
Just want to give God the glory for allowing this to happen. Really proud of our team, but also want to make sure that we recognize the Mississippi State Bulldogs for competing, for representing our conference positively.
Feathers were flying in one city over the weekend, and for good cause. See how people came together to raise money in a run, an unique fireman.
Are you getting this, honey?
Oh, prime time. We are rolling.
All right, Mama's gonna bring it home. Mama's gonna bring it home. Okay.
Come on, watch this guy.
Oh, backwards!
Oh, don't. Oh.
It went into Bob and Carol's yard. Oh, no? Okay, Yeah. here it comes.
Oh, no!
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
All right, let's see what you can do. Let's go.
They might surprise you.
Let's go.
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Feathers were flying all over Seattle this past weekend for Pillow Fight Seattle 2017. This is the 4th time Seattle has put together a big fight for International Pillow Fight Day. All participants were encouraged to wear costumes or pajamas to make this day extra authentic. This fight raised money for homeless shelters. Several cities across the globe also participated in the event. Sounds like fun.
Yeah,
sounds like a lot of fun.
They're going about as crazy as our students were last night.
Yeah, pretty comparable.
I'm surprised there wasn't some pillow fights out there.
You got a dinosaur. Why not throw some pillows in there?
Yeah, could you imagine the dinosaur with the little arms?
Oh, yeah, pillow fight. Yeah, he'd probably get smacked across the face.
Probably.
Yeah, he'd probably fall over.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our current weather, our 5-day. Just to remind you all, there is a tornado watch in effect until 9 p.m. tonight throughout most of the Midlands, and there is some severe thunderstorms headed our way. and there'll also be a chance of rain on Wednesday.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for being with us.
See you tomorrow. Have a great evening.